Now let's talk about smart home technology. Some of my favorite things to use for people who have cognitive impairments are smart home technology. And there's so many things out there now. So I looked at a systematic review from 2019 that looked at smart technologies to improve outcomes for people with acquired brain injuries. Um, I'm sure you guys have used some of these things already, like reminder apps, smart speakers like Alexa for prompts, wearables for prompts, things like that. So, what they found in their literature review is that the benefits are it compensates for memory impairment, it can be personalized to that specific person, it's very cost effective, and it really promotes independence for the skill. They used smart home technology for a variety of different things, such as planning, appointment reminders, making and keeping lists, and things like that. Honestly, I use smart home technology to remember things all the time because where would I be without my Google Calendar? Really and truly. So, here are some examples that you may not think about using technology for. On the left are, what you might have observed your patient or family member or client with an acquired brain injury to do day to day, right? Maybe that person forgets to turn the lights off, they forget to change the temperature on the thermostat and things like that. You can get smart home technology that has auto light switches. You can get smart home technology heating cooling systems that change during the time of day. You just set it and forget it as a schedule. You can get smart locks that auto lock the door when once the door closes, it auto locks the door if they forget to lock the door all the time. Or if there's somebody that's always forgetting their keys, just take the keys away and get a smart lock. Once they close the door locks. You don't have to worry about it. And then a lot of those smart locks are connected to a smartphone. So if you are the family member that's in control of the smart lock, you can unlock the door from your phone if they lock themselves out by accident, which probably would happen potentially. But you can always unlock it from your phone too. If they're forgetful with daily tasks, and it's hard for them to keep on a schedule, you can program an Alexa or Siri to give them daily reminders to take your medicine, drink water, take the dog out, take the trash out, whatever it is, and it's an auto reminder. And then there are automatic group chat reminders that can be sent to. It can be sent to they suggest sending it to your family group chat so it doesn't feel like that person's getting singled out per se. But group chat reminders, kind of like how you get reminders for your doctor's appointments, those are other ways that people can get daily reminders. There is an automatic shut off device for the stove if you're worried about someone who forgets to turn the burner off while they're cooking. It's called iGuard Fire, and it's an automatic burner shut off so that you don't have to be worried about it if they decide they want to continue to cook. And they can continue to cook because they have this solution. If they're wandering or they're easily lost in familiar places, you can do Find My Person, track them on the GPS tracking devices, smartwatches, different things like that. Um, a lot of people don't want it to be known easily that they need these things. So I think a smartwatch is a good solution because it's just something that they're wearing, and but you can also track them through it as well. One thing to consider is that when people have cognitive impairments, new learning is very hard. So if they have to learn something new, like for example, I have a few people in my vision clinic who have cognitive impairments, and we're trying to teach them how to use certain smart technologies. So, like Alexa to remember how to call their son, or like Alexa to ask Alexa to play a certain song for them. They can't remember the prompt to say, "Hey Alexa," whatever. And so always making sure that you're assessing if that person has the capacity to learn something new, if it requires them to be able to prompt the device to do something for them, or do you need to program it so that it's more on the automatic aspect where they don't have to worry about it and it's just a set it and forget it type of thing because they don't have the capacity to learn something new. Those are always things to keep in mind as well when you're introducing technology in particular. This was from a 2024 qualitative analysis of people who use smartphones and tablets. They were users who had mild cognitive impairment, and dementia. And they also interviewed their caregivers. And so these are quotes from the article that talked about what they use in practice for what they feel like is helpful for them. So someone said the biggest thing that I use my phone for is alarms to remind me to do things at certain times. I have 6 or 7 alarms going in a day. Someone said I get a bit frustrated if I can't remember something. So if I can, I get rid of the frustration by looking it up. Someone also said, I don't think any games are going to stop the process, but I think they help the remaining healthy brain to find ways and to keep flexible, to keep making new connections. Someone also said, this is a caregiver who was saying that she's been starting to forget names, particularly her grandchildren, my 2 adult children. So I put their pictures up, but with the names underneath in big letters as reminders to what their names are. So these are practical ways that people have been using their smartphones and tablets that they find helpful. I will make a note on the cognitive brain games one because I think I get questions about what are the best apps, what are the best brain games, what are the best whatever all the time. And there is actually not any research that ties the application to improvements in everyday tasks in cognition. But what this person said is true. It may just slow or maintain the process, keep your brain active and doing something. And so what I recommend is always to just give them something that they're interested in. So if I have somebody, especially with cognitive impairments, because again, like they might not be able to learn something new. So if you find an app like some kind of random brain game that they now have to learn, they might not be able to do that. But if they played solitaire their whole entire life, I can just tell them to do solitaire as their home program and cognitive game. And that's working on attention, sustained attention, remembering sequencing of steps, whatever. It's working on a lot of things cognitively, but it's also more salient to them and easier for them because we're tapping into memories that they have already laid the foundation for, and we don't have to teach them anything new. So that's usually my recommendation when it comes to prescribing quote unquote games for cognition for the home. This was an article from 2024 that looked at an app called Remindful to explore home-based reminder systems for people who have cognitive impairments, mainly dementia. And so on the left, this is a snippet from the actual article of the app that they were developing. And so when I looked into the app, it's not out right now. They have not actually produced it. But what they found is that a home-based system to support daily routines is feasible and usable. And then they put recommendations for future designs. So when I went to look for more information of what is actually out there for us to be able to use, on the right-hand side, I found this app that's free in the App Store called Remind Me Dementia Calendar. And I liked it a lot. I have not used it yet because I just found it, honestly. But what I liked about it is that it features a sync calendar from the caregiver to provide auto updates to that person's calendar so that they don't have to update anything if anything changes in their schedule. If you update it on your phone as the caregiver, it will automatically sync to their calendar and update on theirs too. It can be used on a tablet or a phone. So, like, say they have a tablet and it's in a centralized location, like in their kitchen by their coffee maker or something, and it's just always on display. That's maybe just a routine that they start to establish because they get coffee every morning. Now the tablet is next to the coffee maker, and so they see what their schedule is for the day, and you're the one updating it on the back end as the caregiver. What it also allows you to do is it's read only for the end user. So they can't make any changes, which is pivotal because if you've ever worked with somebody who has cognitive impairments and is trying to navigate their phone, they're always deleting stuff by accident. They always can't find things on their phone. It's just a mess sometimes. So the read only feature is very, very helpful. It's a super simple interface, as you can see, like it just shows you two things. No overwhelm, no visual overstimulation. It also allows you to color code on the actual application. So like if you put everything for morning in green and everything in orange for afternoon, then they just associate the colors with the time of day, and that could be helpful. They also can change to dark and light modes, and It also allows you to change to what colors you want to display, which is important because as people, specifically with dementia progress, they see certain colors better, greens and reds, and sometimes they need a lot of contrast. So dark mode is better for them because the bright white letters stand out to them more on the black background versus the opposite. So I like this app for all of those reasons. Again, I haven't used it, but if you try it and you like it, then I'm happy about it. And it's also free, so that's good.